brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. My name is Madelyn Burke alongside the Super Bowl champion Amani Toomer. Amani, the Giants went out to Seattle and got the win 29-20. The Seahawks have won 6 of their last 7 games against the Giants going into this matchup. The lone Giants win in 2020 in Seattle with no crowd, but the Giants handled business with the 12s in attendance, and in large part due to a pivotal blocked field goal at the end of the game, too.
Yeah, it was a great special teams play. Overall, the team came out there. Originally thought that, when they had their first fumble for the touchdown, you thought, oh, here we go again. But the Giants held strong. And the fact that they came back after they got punched in the mouth, it just seemed like it was just such a rewarding victory, just because of the way that they fought throughout the entire day. And you had great play from some of the younger guys stepping up in opportunities, and Darius Slayton, and you even had Daniel Jones playing a very strong game, not letting all the stuff around him slow him down. He played a really strong game. It was just really fun to watch this team compete at a high level and do a lot of the things that they were supposed to do in the beginning of the season. Now you're starting to see things getting put together.
Absolutely, because the Giants were up 23-20. Seahawks were in a position to try to tie this game. Isaiah Simmons jumps over, blocks the field goal. Bryce Ford-Wheaton recovers, runs it 60 yards, scores the touchdown. Things you love to see. Now, of course, some people will say, hey, don't score, go down and, milk the clock there. But Bryce Ford-Wheaton, I get it. You want to get in that end zone and celebrate the young guy. But, hey, our Paul Dottino is on the field in Seattle with Isaiah Simmons. Let's send it down.
So, Isaiah, some people don't think of special teams being a big part of the game, but it was no bigger than your blocked field goal there, 40-plus yards. They had a chance to tie the game. Tell me about the play. What did you see?
I mean, this week I knew my role wasn't too big on defense. Obviously, I'm a competitor. I want to be out there. But I just wanted to be able to make sure that if my number gets called in any situation, special teams, defense, regardless, just to take advantage of each opportunity I get. So, honestly, you can ask all the guys. I've been telling them all day long, I'm going to block that if he calls it. I'm like, if he calls that play, I'm going to block it. I promise you I'm going to block it. So when he called that, I turned, I looked at him. He ain't no smiles. I said, watch.
What did you see in their scheme that allowed you to take advantage?
I just got to give it up to our coordinator. He makes sure we're prepared each and every week and know the ins and outs of their personnel and scheme of each team. So shouts out to Gobi. It was really, his mastermind. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Coach Gobriel, of course, your special teams coordinator. When that block happens, now you still got to make a play, and Ford-Wheaton, of course, comes up with the ball, and I don't think he was going to give that up on his way to the end zone.
I told the guy, I told him and Nick McLeod, I say, listen, get ready to scoop the ball. I said, so all you need to do, look at that ball and scoop it, because I'm telling you I'm going to block it. So scoop it, and hey, he was right there waiting for it, and boom, the rest is history.
Isaiah Simmons, congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Paul Dottino there with Isaiah Simmons. That interview is brought to you by your local Ford stores. I like the fact that he just manifested that. Amani said, I'm going to block it, you're going to scoop it. And they were in the position, they put themselves in the position to win this game. But Toom, they're not in the position to win this game without the play that we saw from Daniel Jones this afternoon. Daniel Jones was out there slinging it, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, another clean sheet, adding another 38 yards on the ground. But the thing that stood out the most to me, I think, is just how decisive he looked.
Yeah, usually when Daniel Jones is hitting his back step, sometimes he'll pat it a little bit, sometimes he'll just be a little indecisive. Today, it was as soon as his back foot dropped, the ball was coming out. And it's just very encouraging to see the growth of him. Now you're seeing him run the ball a little bit more. You're seeing him, trusting his teammates, putting the ball in harm's way, and his teammates coming out with great catches, moving the chains. And it was a really good win on offense. I think this offense played up to their part, and I think they had a big jump in terms of execution. And now you bring back Neighbors, and you have Slayton and Neighbors on the outside. You even had the tight end Jones coming, Theo Johnson coming in making a good play. So there's a lot of positives on this offense, and it showed I mean, on the road, I can't tell you how difficult it is to play in Seattle with the 12th man, and they handled it swimmingly. I'm very impressed with the way that they played today.
Right, they played well. Daniel was decisive. It's like my dad always says, you got to be a shot caller. Just make a decision and go for
exactly.
it. And he did that. He leaned into that, and whether he was making a decision to get the ball to some of his receivers, again, no Malik Neighbors. He did not travel with the Giants to Seattle because he's still recovering from a concussion. No Devin Singletary because he's dealing with a groin injury. He didn't play on Sunday afternoon. But Tyrone Tracy Jr., the rookie running back, coming in 18 carries, 129 yards, an average of 7.2 yards per carry. Tracy, the first Giants rookie running back to surpass 100 yards on the ground since Saquon did it in 2018. And this is his very first start in the National Football League, putting up these numbers. 7.2 average, Amani. That's nothing to scoff at.
That's nothing to scoff at. Usually when you get 4 yards per carry, that's kind of the Mendoza line in terms of what you want to have every time. But 7.2 is massive. 18 carries for 129 yards. That is game-breaking ability with 27-yard long game. That's something that the Giants didn't have. Singletary has been playing well, but he hasn't been a game breaker like Tracy and like Tyrone was today. And Tyrone really proved himself. And anytime you go down, you could be Wally Pipp. You know, it's just like Drew Bledsoe when Tom Brady went in. You just never know when you leave if your backup is just sitting there waiting, trying to get in there. And obviously Tyrone Tracy had an opportunity this week, and he took full advantage of it.
What a great problem to have multiple players at a position who could play at a high level. But Tracy's not the only one with a 100-yard game. Darius Slayton put up 122 yards. He's on the field with our Paul Dottino. Let's send it down to Seattle.
So Darius, your quarterback's been taking a lot of heat, but today he was about as flawless as could be, and you were the main guy of his targets.
Yeah, he's a hell of a quarterback, man. Does a great job of staying poised. This is a crazy environment. He came out today, he played a hell of a game, and you know, I was just trying to go out there and get open when I can and make plays.
I got you down for the 6th 100-yard game of your career, the 30-yard touchdown you ran the corner. Brown was having a hard time with you all day.
Yeah, you know, we did a good job of, that was a great play call by Dabes. You know, it was a hell of a look, and I was able to run away from him and get in.
I need to know about the mentality after you guys go all the way down the field, lose the ball on a fumble, they run it back for a touchdown. A lot of people back in New York were deflated. But what was it that you guys were doing on the sideline to keep your spirits up?
Just keeping our heads high. You know, we know that we're a resilient group. We know that we had pushed it down the field. We got down there, and we knew we were going to get down there again, and we just had to stay locked in and take care of the ball, and we knew we were going to finish drives.
Now, at the same time, you couldn't kill the clock at the end. You had to watch the defense and then special teams to come up big.
Sure.
But as they always say, it's complementary football.
Exactly. So football is a team sport. Obviously, our field goal block came out with a huge play, massive play from Isaiah, something that they had schemed up during the week, so it's beautiful to see it come to life.
Darius Slayton, no neighbors, but you come up big and the Giants win. Nice job.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's our Paul Dottino with Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton. Player interviews are brought to you by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official truck of the New York Football Giants. Amani, we look at Darius Slayton's numbers on the day. 8 receptions on 11 targets, 122 yards and a touchdown, including a 41-yard long. That touchdown drive, 71 of his yards happened on that drive on 2 catches right there. The Giants, we've seen them trying to get the ball down the field in weeks past, but today they were connecting. Daniel Jones was finding, especially Slayton, on a 41-yarder and a 30-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that long ball to me really showed the difference what Slayton could be for this offense. Because, you know, Malik Neighbors, he gets open deep on some double moves and stuff like that. Slayton can just use his pure speed and his ability to get open and catch the ball deep. I think this is a different dynamic than what Neighbors can do. And them together, working together, I think gives the Giants offense a totally new look. And now you got Tyrone Tracy as running the ball back there too. I think that the Giants, their younger players are starting to come around, and Daniel Jones is starting to play with the confidence that he did back a couple years ago when he took the team to their playoff win versus the Vikings.
Hey, coming into this game, head coach Brian Daboll said no Neighbors, no Singletary, no excuses. His focal point was let's make the simple better. And the Giants made the simple a win in Seattle. 29-20 is the final. We've got more to come, though. We're going to take a quick timeout here on Giants Postgame Live. But Giants fans, it's Moody's. Decode risk, unlock opportunity. You can learn more at moodys.com. Postgame.com. After the break, we'll hear from head coach Brian Daboll. He's got much more to say after the win in Seattle. Giants improved to 2-3 with a 29-20 win on the road. That and more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. But first, Giants fans, October 13th, the Giants will host the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. 100th season celebrations will continue with a halftime ceremony celebrating the 07 and 11 Super Bowl teams, and the first 25,000 fans through the gates will receive a Tom Coughlin bobblehead. Limited tickets are available for this game, including suites, so scan the QR code on your screen or check out available ticket options. Come hang out with us next week. Today's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Citizens is made ready for Giants fans. For every scoring drive this season, Citizens will donate $750 to the Giants Foundation to support their work tackling important community issues, improving overall health, and empowering our youth. For the drive of the game, we bring you to the third quarter. 4 plays, 77 yards, took a minute 30 off the clock, capped with a 30-yard touchdown reception. Daniel Jones to Darius Slayton, the second longest pass of that drive. He also hit him for a 41-yarder earlier in the drive. Darius Slayton capping off the drive of the game. It would make it 17-10 Giants. Now for more, let's send it back out to Seattle. Paul Dottino and Howard Cross are standing by with reactions from the field, guys.
All right, thank you so much. And you know, the view from the field, well, it was really quite simple. Isaiah Simmons had a clean rush at a blocked field goal to preserve the Giants' victory, and he was shot out of a cannon.
Well, you know what? It was kind of scheme kind of play, believe it or not. They pulled the guard's shoulder down, so he had a clean step through. He didn't have to jump over the center because that's illegal. So they gave him room by pulling the guard's shoulder down. They're just standing there anyway, kind of locked into each other. They pulled him down. He stepped across, made the block. It was perfect, perfectly executed.
You know what, Howard? That's typical of a player who was a regular on defense, but now has been playing a lot of special teams, but kept his attitude up and found a way to contribute.
Yeah, you know what? You never get a chance to do exactly what you want to do when you're playing. So when your opportunity shows up, just take it. Good job.
Let's talk about this Giants running game. No Singletary, but Tracy winds up as the first Giants rookie since Saquon Barkley to put up 100 yards rushing. That's pretty impressive. The offensive line, especially on the interior, did a marvelous job.
They did a great job blocking. They also did some great schemes for him. Tracy started to pick up on ideal how to, bump inside and then go outside. He was doing both. He was doing an excellent job of it. He ran the ball great. He found the hole, and he kept the ball in his hands the entire time.
Showed speed and toughness.
Absolutely. But, ball security, especially after we had the fumble early, was great.
Yeah, the fumble early by Gray, of course, was really rough on the goal line. But that's all the resiliency the Giants, with coming back the way they did. It was pretty unbelievable.
It was pretty much unbelievable. They really held the Seahawks to almost nothing. If they didn't have that turnover for a touchdown, they would have had nothing. 0 points in the first half.
Yeah, the defense dominated. They only give up 90 yards of total offense in the first half. I believe it was 5 first downs, and the Seahawks only had the ball for 9 minutes. It was dominating.
Hats off to Dexter Lawrence. He played an incredible game, getting pushed up the middle almost every play. It seemed like they were kind of dodging and trying to get away from the whole time. Also, you got to look at Thibodeau and Burns did great jobs coming off the edges.
Real quick thought, we got to get this in here. Neighbors doesn't play today. They're number 1 passing threat, the bulk of their offense. But Darius Slayton, who has been all reliable for Daniel Jones now for a handful of years, really stepped up.
Well, I was waiting for some guys to step up. I knew Slayton was going to step up, but I was glad to see Theo step up too. My tight end got some catches in there. That's what you have to do when your big guys out. Get some more plays.
I knew Phil knew when to find you every once in a while.
Exactly.
All right, Howard, let's go back upstairs to the studio.
Great stuff from Paul Dottino and Howard Cross in Seattle. As much love as we're given to this offense, the defense played incredibly well. 7 sacks, 3 of them from Dexter Lawrence. Hit that sexy Dexy sack dance. All right, we've got much more to come on the show, but first, Giants fans want to remind you the official 100th season book titled New York Football Giants, The People, The Moments, The Traditions is now available exclusively at the Giants online shop. This book explores the top 100 players of all time, unforgettable games, and stories that have defined the franchise for the last century. Visit the Giants online shop to get yours today. We've got more to come on the show. Head coach Brian Daboll up next. That and more on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. Giants fans join the Giants text alert community for breaking news, sweepstakes, ticket offers, and important game day information. Just scan the QR code on your screen or text Giants to 201-636-1569 to get started. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Madelyn, Burke, and the Super Bowl champ Amani, Toomer in studio as the Giants come away with a Week 5 win over the Seahawks. 29-20 was the final score in Seattle. Let's set it out as head coach Brian Daboll addresses the media.
How we doing? Good. Lost my voice a little bit, so good to come out here on the road, get a win. A lot of resiliency. Obviously, the way it started out, a 100-yard return after we drove the ball down on them. Thought we played good, efficient football. Thought our quarterback played good again. So he's continued to run game. Pass game was efficient, hit a couple big plays. And then defensively and special teams, again, we were grinding back and forth. They got a lot of talent on their football team. It's a good offensive football team. They've been doing a good job defensively, taking away passes. But proud of the guys to come out here, play a good game, and get a win on the road. And, I think it was Tuesday, Goby brought that play up to me. We talked about who we thought would be a good candidate to do the jump. And Isaiah, came to mind. And he executed perfectly. So proud of our team, our coaches. They put a lot of hard work in to come out here on the road. Started out similar, not the same, but similar to the Cleveland week when we bounced back. So proud of the guys, competed well, got the result we want. But really the process is what I'm proud of, how they stay true to it, how they practiced, how they prepared, meetings, all those type of things. So good win.
What did you see that made you think that play would work here and, against this team?
Yeah, well, you put a lot of trust in your assistants. So Goby thought it would be a good, he showed me a few clips and we held it too. We were, I kept asking for it during the game. I thought, we probably had a chance at it. And Goby's like, I just want to set it up one more. And look, there's risk reward to it because if you get a penalty, then it's a first down for the offense. But I thought Goby did a great job of just setting up the rush, called it at the perfect time, and then, Isaiah's over there before the play practicing get-offs and what he's doing. So he was prepared to go. We had Dexter in there. Well-executed play at a critical situation.
Brian, did you guys notice that Tomlinson would always typically go real low when you blocked like that?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the strategy. But, yeah, look, we put a lot of hard work into it every week as a coaching staff. That's our job, is to try to put the players in the best position we can. And then ultimately on Sundays, it's their job to go out there and perform and execute and, work together with the coaches and give and take stuff. It was a good team win.
What do you think on Isaiah on the field goal block? He usually is on that.
Yeah, but we moved him around. Look, it was just a good game plan played by Goby and the special teams guys. And then, I was asking for it a little bit earlier. And, he just got a lot of trust in our coaching staff. It's a very cohesive unit all the way through. Special teams, defense, offense. Bunch of good people to work with.
As a play caller, how challenging was it? Your starting running back's not there, so you have a rookie, and obviously Malik's not there, who gets so many targets. For you to change things up and maybe use some guys in different situations, or you had to trust rookies.
That's the job of a coach. So, that's what you work during the week for. We moved Slayton over to where Neighbors was a bunch, and he was on the other side usually. So now he has to learn not learn because he's been with us for however many years, since we've been here. And one of the reasons is because he's very dependable and he's smart. So to hear a personnel group and for the training camp and all this, you're going to this position and then all of a sudden have to flip it and go to that position. That's Slay though. He's a great teammate. He's always done whatever we've asked of him. And I've said that numerous times. So I'm happy for him. I don't know what was his production. I know it was probably quite a bit. It was good to see the rookies. They're developing still. It's early. This is October now, so you kind of figure out September some of the things you need to work on. And one game really has nothing to do with the next, so we'll do it all over again against a very challenging opponent, high-powered team coming up here in a week.
Dave, how about the moment for Simmons in particular, a guy who some weeks hasn't dressed?
Yeah.
And then today he does what he does.
Yeah, I think he's dressed every week, if I'm not mistaken, but that's okay. Yeah, I said that. I gave him a game ball. It's, look, he's a high first-round pick. He's been on a couple different teams. There's certain roles that he plays, and not everybody is a starter for you. That means the people that play behind them, or the specific roles we have, they have to execute their job at a high level. Whatever that role is, that's what good teammates do. Certainly everybody wants the ball on offense or play 100% of the time, but this is a team game, and you can only put 11 out there. And when your number's called, we're expecting you to make the play. So I'm proud of the young man for that. He made one hell of a play at the end of the game to seal it. So, and I give Gobi a lot of credit. First-year coordinator, schemed it up, brought it up. It was a good team win.
What impressed you, Brian, about Tracy, his running?
Got a lot of yards. Yeah. He was productive. He was productive. He was tough. I mean, he's doing I don't know if it's eat more or whatever it is, on the sideline. Give him the ball. And, he ran hard. He saw the holes. He pressed the hole. That's something we've been working hard on him with, is pressing the hole and setting up your blocks. Made some extra yards with the ball in his hand. I don't know. He had a bunch of yards too, right? Yeah. Tracy, I don't know, whatever it was. What was it? Yeah, like 7. What was the average? He had to have a high average. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they all do, but there's certain, certain plays we left out there too. So there's a lot of things to clean up. But I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our coaches to come all the way across the country and, lose a tough couple games here in the last month, which I thought we competed at. I think we're getting better. We're certainly not there, but, I just think the cohesiveness of the staff, the players, I think that's important, particularly early on in the year. A lot of hard workers, a lot of team players, put the team first. But long way to go. It's one game in a tough environment. But what I'm proud of is, how they responded to early in the game. When that big play happened, it was very similar to Cleveland. And I think, let me say this. Somebody asked, I think it was you, about the fans. Our fans were awesome again. They were at, Washington, traveling out on the road. I mean, it's nice to hear, New York Giant chants at the end of the game. So shout out to the fans.
Dave, how fun is it to coach Daniel Jones when he's playing at the level he was at there?
Well, it's always been fun to coach him because he's a true pro. So, again, I always want the results, but have a lot of confidence in him, how he's playing, how he's preparing. Feel comfortable putting the ball in his hands. This is what we did early in the game. We went after him a little bit, throwing the ball. So, I got a lot of confidence in him.
How much do you think it helps?
When he's running, Kim, you want to go?
Go ahead.
When he's running and lowering his shoulder into defenders, does that type of thing bleed in a good way into your team?
Yeah. Anytime a quarterback does that, again, you got to be smart about it. But he's a true competitor. I mean, there was, a play a couple weeks back, him pushing on the goal line in Cleveland. He's a competitive young man who, again, Daniel Jones has done everything that I and we have asked him to do. He's here early. He stays late. He's got good leadership traits. It's never been easy for him, but everything we've asked him to do, he does it at the very best he can do it. And he's played some good football here. We're going to need him to continue to do that.
What about Slayton? And I don't know what you make of that initial penalty, and then he comes right back though and gets a big touchdown catch.
Yeah, I didn't see the play. That's certainly something that we showed abundance here the last couple weeks. I'm not sure he was really doing what I think he was doing, and he was very regretful and remorseful for doing it. So we've talked about it a bunch, but and then we go ahead and look, that play that he hit. He wasn't even a primary guy. So Wandell was, and they kind of played a little bit of a double move, and that was a secondary read, an unbelievable play by DJ to see it, and a great route by 86 on that big. I don't know how many yards was it, Jordan? 41. Okay.
Dave, you mentioned a couple more. You mentioned the environment here.
Yeah.
Your offensive line, I don't believe you had one pre-snap penalty.
Yeah.
How that group has come together. I mean, I don't know if you're able to do the thing
Yeah.
you did offensively without that group putting on that performance today.
Yeah, I said this. They're a veteran group, well coached by Carm and James. There's good chemistry in that room. There's a lot of extra meetings, Art, not just with the line, but you know they're staying late on Wednesdays and Thursdays and getting all sorts of food. Running backs are staying in there. You know, it's good food too. So it's just they're a close knit group, and that's what you need to be offensive line wise. And they're veterans that have played a lot of football. Again, this is our second win. Certainly, we'd like to have more, but we don't. So go back to work this week and do the very best we can.
How much do you think it helped Tyrone Tracy that he got an opportunity to get in the room, right?
As head coach Brian Daboll saying, hey, you know what, go back to work and do the best we can, giving a lot of credit to special teams coordinator Michael Gabriel, of course his first year in the role here with the New York Giants and in the role as a special teams coordinator in the NFL. But one thing that I found interesting that Dave said, Amani, was something that you and I were talking about when we were watching this game. The parallel between this game and the Cleveland game, also a win. Both of those games got off to an unfortunate start for the Giants. This one, of course, Giants putting together an incredible drive offensively, getting down the field. Eric Gray fumbles at the goal line. Rayshon Jenkins runs it back 102 yards for a touchdown. And the Seahawks are the first to score in this game, much like the way that the Cleveland game started. The way that this team was able to be, resilient and bounce back and score and defensively hold strong after that as well. What does that tell you about this locker room?
It tells you that this team is they're a bunch of fighters. Like, they're not going to sit back and just woe is me, let all the press, all the negative thoughts about them define who they are. This team is going to define who they are between the white lines, and I think it starts with Daniel Jones. He has had so much vitriol towards him, and he's handled it swimmingly, like a quarterback that is in the New York market, how you have to handle it. And I don't know about his future, but I know that right now he is playing the part, and he's doing his job, playing winning football, and the team is responding to him. And one thing I want to really appreciate is, like, I feel like when Brian Daboll, Daboll's the way he approaches these press conferences, he's just so even-keeled. That gives stability to the entire locker room and the entire organization, really, because, when you have a win like that, he doesn't come in jumping and doing jumping jacks. He comes in like every week. First thing he says, how you guys doing? No matter if they win or they lose, and that's the leadership that this team and this organization really deserves.
That leadership, that incredible decisive play from the quarterback Daniel Jones, and the strong play on defense, of course, too. We mentioned the 7 sacks, getting pressure on Geno Smith, holding to Seattle to just 3 of 11 on third down. We'll talk a little bit more about defense as well as the show rolls on. But first, I want to remind you all that guests of our postgame show receive a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's, located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be.
Well, Bryce, Isaiah Simmons comes in on that blocked field goal. He's telling me that he told teammates on the bench, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. So what exactly made him so confident and you so confident that was going to happen?
That's just how we practiced it, honestly. It happened exactly how we practiced, how we anticipated. Big shout out to Zay and special teams coordinator Coach Goby for installing that. It happened exactly how you said it was going to happen, so couldn't work out any better.
That's our Paul Dottino in the locker room with Bryce Ford-Wheaton. Incredible play on special teams to secure the win for the Giants in Seattle. 29-20 is the final score. And talking about it, you heard Brian Daboll talk about this earlier in the show, that this is a play that special teams coordinator Michael Gabriel had drawn up, and they had gone through and they had workshopped. And Dave said, credit to Goby for his presence of mind to say, okay, we're not going to use it just yet. We're going to build up to it and picking the right spot. When you have a play like that in your arsenal, as a player, I'm sure you get excited to try it. And knowing the right time to use it and executing it efficiently has got to be great.
It is great, but there's a lot of times when you have special plays like that and you're just watering to have it happen, and it never happens. So sometimes it takes 2 weeks, sometimes it takes 3 weeks. This time it happened right at the right time to seal the game, and man, that's those are the things that really give you confidence in your organization, in your coaching staff, when they can put you in a position. Because the only thing you want as a coach is to put you in a position to be great, and that's absolutely what they did today. They put Isaiah Simmons in a position to make a play, and he did it. And that's what's going to instill trust and confidence, and it's a good situation.
Absolutely, it's going to instill trust, and you know, he said to his teammates, "Hey, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to block this. You guys be ready to scoop it," and Bryce Ford-Wheaton did that.
Absolutely. Speaking
about being ready, if you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Devin Singletary, of course, missed today's game with a groin injury he's dealing with. Rookie Tyrone Tracy had himself a ball game. We talked about his numbers, 129 yards rushing in his first career start. He and Tracy and Eluemunor are speaking in the locker room. Let's send it down and hear about the run game.
Like you also did the same thing for Tracy, though. His rookie steps up into the lineup, and you guys really got the holes going for him.
Tracy's a baller. Tracy is a baller, and I mean, y'all saw that today. Dev's a baller. We have 2-3 really good running backs in that backfield, and you know, it was Tracy's turn today to go out there and just do his thing, and that's what he did. And you know, his patience in the backfield and the way he's able to hit the hole and like create something out of nothing is ridiculous. So, like I said, once he gets more confident too in the system, the sky's the limit.
Jermaine, the way you guys ran the ball all the way down the field, you get down to the goal line and then lose it on a turnover, and they come back and get the score on it. How did you resiliently bounce back from that emotionally?
Well, I mean, think about Cleveland. Cleveland, you know, we're about to get the ball, fumble, they score a touchdown. Now we have to go back on the field and, you know, try to pick up all the crumbs that were left out there. And so, for us, I think that just shows how resilient this team is, how the mentality of this team is completely different now, and how it doesn't matter how much we're down by, we're always going to be in the game, and we're going to try to get back in the game and get back to where we need to be. And I mean, the past 5 weeks, we've been moving the ball up and down the field. It's just about finishing, and we did a great job today at finishing, and we have to continue to, you know, get better with that as each week goes on.
So Tyrone, Singletary's got the groin situation. Looking up at the game, doesn't look like he's going to play. You know you're going to be a big part of the game plan. What were the butterflies like, and how soon did you get rid of them to produce a 100-yard day like you just did?
I would say the butterflies was something that, you know, always going to happen on game day. I prepare the right way. I have people around me that helps me prepare, like Motor. He was a great help throughout the week. You know, helped me on just, you know, film study, knowing the backers, knowing the D-line, things of that such. And then for me personally, really when you get out there after that first snap, you know, the butterflies really go away. You know, you gotta, you know, stay focused, understand the game plan, and just rely on your fundamentals and your technique.
You had 3 100-yard rushing games last year at Purdue. What was it that was going so right for you today? Obviously, the offensive line was a big part.
Oh, yeah, the O-line. I would say the O-line for sure. If you go back and watch the tape, you will see that, you know, they was placing their D-line on their side of the ball. And that, you know, for me, it makes it way easier for me to you know, see the lanes, understand, you know, where the point is, and then, you know, making a run after that. My biggest thing, I always want to be an explosive runner. So every time I touch the ball, I want to make sure it's a positive game.
Great stuff from our Paul Dottino in the locker room, catching up with Tracy and Eluemunor and Tyrone Tracy as we take a look at the running back comparison on the day. Tyrone, of course, 129 yards rushing in his first start, 7.2 average. Now compared to Kenneth Walker III, the Seahawks standout running back who's coming off a 3-touchdown performance on Monday Night Football, but held to just 19 yards rushing on 5 rushes. Amani, it's incredible seeing the way that the run game has been going for this Giants team. One thing that I like, too, is Tyrone Tracy talking about how Motor, Devin Singletary, was pivotal in helping him prepare for this start. You know, being a vet in the league and helping the young guys come up is so important.
Yeah, it is, and it takes a different kind of player to give the knowledge to the younger player who's, in essence, trying to take your job, but not caring about your own self and your own, you know, career, really putting it all into the team and making sure that the team does well. That takes a special type of player, and it seems like there's a locker room full of those type of players. But one thing that he did say that Tyrone said that I was really pleased about is talking about the offensive line, because this offensive line over the last couple weeks have been playing really good football. They've been opening up the play, opening up lanes for the runner, letting Daniel Jones get confidence in that pocket so that now he is way more decisive. He's not sitting around kind of second guessing, seeing ghosts. He feels the confidence from that he's going to have a time to operate, and the runners are really starting to show what they can do.
Building trust, absolutely. And speaking of Daniel Jones, we're going to hear from him as the show rolls on. We've got much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. After the break, quarterback Daniel Jones takes the podium. We'll hear from him after the win in Seattle. 29-20 is the final. Stay with us. Today's Player of the Game is presented by HCL Tech, supercharging progress, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Giants. Player of the Game, none other than Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, 23 of 34 for 257 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Also adding another 38 yards rushing with his legs. His QBR 109.6, 68% completion percentage. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Let's send it out to Seattle, where the Player of the Game is speaking at the podium.
A win like this, Daniel?
Yeah, feels good. Big time play at the end, obviously, by Isaiah and special teams. Defense played great all day against a really good offense. So feels good. I think like any game, there's some stuff we want to do better and clean up, but got to enjoy these.
What's going through your head as you watch that field goal kick?
I think just hoping something like that happens. Yeah, a huge play by Isaiah and that whole unit, and thought special teams played great today. And point, you're having conversations about what we're going to do and what that's going to look like. So just trying to be prepared, but yeah, huge play.
What was your mindset coming into this game with no Malik, no Singletary?
We say, we've said since training camp how much we like our skill guys and how deep we think those positions are, and you saw a lot of guys step up today and make a lot of plays. So, when we say that, we mean it. We have a lot of confidence in those guys, and they stepped up and played really well.
You had drives of 16, 12, and 11 plays, and your time of possession was just crazy at one point. Is that your typical offense? Was that something you saw with them? Was it just the way the game played out?
I think we've done that, at points this season, and when we're executing well, I think, just being consistent, moving the ball, throwing it, running it, a couple chunks here and there. I think, we've been able to do that, and I think that's just about consistent execution, and I think it's a good defense we played today, and they got a lot of good players, but we always try to focus on what we need to do to execute.
That's Giants quarterback Daniel Jones coming off a 29-20 win over the Seahawks in Seattle. To take a look at the quarterback comparison. Back at it again with the White Vans. Daniel, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions against Geno Smith, the league's leading passer, threw for 284 and a touchdown, 70% completion. We've got much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. Stay with us.
Dex, in all honesty, tremendous defensive effort. First half, they had 90 yards of total offense, and you were dominating the play, even though the score was only 10-10.
Honestly, offense held the ball for forever. We had to stay warm on the sideline, but they did a good job controlling the clock, and we got stops and helped give them the ball back to keep controlling it.
Pass rush winds up coming up with 7 total sacks, and as your partner just told you, it was a good day for you too. What added to the pass rush today? I
think we executed the plan well, and the DBs was covering they butts off. I said they were covering well, gave us time to get there. Geno was looking for his second read, third read, and that gave us time to get there.
Walker has been known as such a slippery back, someone who breaks a lot of tackles, forces guys to miss, but you seem to keep him under control too.
Yeah, it was a big emphasis. Like you said, he's a special back, and we know we had to stop the run early and often, and offense puts points up for us, so we ain't have to worry about him too much.
I want to go back to what you said before about the offense did so well in the first half to help you, then special teams clinches the game. That is the ultimate complementary football.
Hey, that's what we're trying to build around here, complementary football. Short fields for the offense, and special teams can help with that for both defense and offense.
You've been around here a long time. This has been a house of horrors for the Giants, and this win could be one of those things that really sparks you.
Yeah, I think we're a good team, and good teams take this and run with it. So our goal is to turn a chapter Monday, tomorrow, and just get ready for Cincinnati, honestly.
That's our Paul Dottino with Dexter Lawrence as we take a look at his numbers against the Seahawks today. 3 sacks. He's got 6 sacks this season, leading the team. The Giants had 7 on Geno Smith today, but Dex, of course, giving a lot of credit to the DBs as well, saying they, quote, "We're covering their butts off." Appreciate Dex keeping it PG out here. Amani, it was great to see the return of Drew Phillips, a rookie corner who's back in the game, made some plays. Also Tyler Nubin, some of the young DBs really making an impact in this game.
Yeah, well, you're seeing a lot of young players grow in front of our eyes, and also you're seeing, you know, this defensive line really starting to, because Dexter had 3, you had Burns had a sack, Thibodeau had half a sack, and Davis had 2 sacks. So it's one of those things where
DJ Davidson, the Sun Devil, right there, 2 sacks.
Well, shout out to the Sun Devils a little bit.
Gotta give a little love to my alma mater right there too.
But you know, this whole team is really starting to. They're really putting together some good film. You know, the results may not be there all the time, but this team is much improved, and I feel like, you know, there's a lot more to that. I'm looking a lot more positive towards the end of this season. I think they're going to start making a run here. A win like this, just like Paul Dottino said, can definitely spark a team, especially when you're down and you still come through with your depth to show what you can do.
And credit to Tay Banks as well, taking Jerome Henderson's coaching this week and really leveling up his play, impact play today in Seattle as the Giants get the win 29-20. But Giants fans, check out the Eli Manning Show presented by Panini Prism Trading Cards. All you have to do is subscribe to the Giants YouTube channel, catch all the new episodes, including one with the Liberty this week. Liberty just clinched their trip to the WNBA Finals. It's the Eli Manning Show. Subscribe today. Hey, the Seahawks have their 12s, but the Giants fans showed up in support as the Giants got the 29-20 win on the road in Seattle, improving to 2-3 on the season. But we turned the page. Week 6 Sunday Night Football. The Giants hosting the Cincinnati Bengals at MetLife Stadium. Sunday, October 13th, 8:20 p.m. Of course, Sunday Night Football. First 25,000 fans in attendance also get a Tom Coughlin bobblehead as we continue to celebrate the 100th season of Giants football. But Amani, Giants coming off the win, headed into Sunday Night Football. Paint the picture.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for the Giants in front of everybody to show what they really can do. They've had opportunities early this year to be on national TV. Didn't make their best showing. This is an opportunity to show what they've improved and how well that they can compete at a great level. I'm really excited.
Doing it on the big stage against the Bengals team, coming off a tough overtime loss to the Ravens today. But we'll be here after the game for more Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. For Amani, I'm Madelyn. Thanks for watching.